Andy, as a man who likes his football, was that the perfect away performance?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't go into it obviously thinking like that. I was just trying to win against Nick, which was tough because he has an exceptional serve. Makes it very difficult for you when he's serving. And like I said on the court afterwards, it was very tricky conditions as well. So I was quite happy with the way I handled everything tonight.
What was the wind doing out there, Andy? Was it swirling or was it coming?
No, it was like, so the end where we walk out onto the court, it was a really strong breeze. So when you were at that end, you were playing with the wind. So it was tricky because it was very strong breeze. So when you were down the far end of the court, you had to do a lot more defending. You know, if you tried to play with any sort of height, the ball was dropping short, and it was very easy for me or him to attack. So yeah, I tried to just keep the ball low from that end, used a lot of slice and played pretty flat. So it was tough for him, and it worked.
Andy, through to the semi-final, dropping just one set. How pleasing is that? And can you sort of talk through your general feeling of the performances so far?
Yeah, I think you know, for me tonight was it was a tricky one to judge, say how well I played, because I found the conditions difficult tonight. So I tried to use the conditions to my advantage and played a slightly different style than what I had been in the other matches. I would say the match against Dimitrov was a very high level. It was a clean match. Both of us were striking the ball well, and yeah, I'd say I made, you know, improvements with each of the matches. But then tonight, you know, I just tried to play the best with what the conditions were allowing you to do, and I think I did that quite well.
Do you think he should have gotten a point penalty in the tiebreak there when he broke his racket?
Well, I don't know if there's a rule, but I haven't in the last 3-4 years seen someone break a racket and not get a warning. I haven't seen it normally. Any time it's happened to me, if I've ever broken a racket, I've always got a warning. So I just asked the umpire, and he said no, that it doesn't have to be automatic. But I asked the question because I haven't seen that happen for a long time.
Did it feel any different going into the match, knowing that if you won, you'd play Burdick rather than Nadal?
Not really, because Thomas had played very well so far up to today, and Rafa's obviously form had been a bit up and down, and you know, he was coming in having not really played much tennis at all for quite a long time, and when he was playing towards the end of last year, he certainly wasn't fit, so I don't imagine he'd been practicing loads either. So I wasn't too surprised. I mean, Rafa nearly got himself back into the match in the third set, but he was clearly not playing so well at the beginning.
Andy, we were all 19 once, but what do you make of his on-court demeanor and his showboating and that kind of stuff?
Well, I actually think he's actually quite respectful on the court in many ways. I mean, he does applaud good shots. He does say good shot, good serve. You know, he gets frustrated with himself and sometimes says things that he shouldn't. But everyone, I would think, has done that in some way when they're 19. It just happens that when he's doing it, he's playing in front of, you know, a large audience, and it gets picked up on. But I've spent a little bit of time with him, and I think he's a good person. I don't think he's a bad guy. He's nice. He's always been polite and respectful, and yeah, maybe he does the odd thing on the court that might, you know, annoy some people, but he doesn't. I don't think he does anything with bad intent, and he's only gonna continue to mature and improve in that respect as he gets older, and he just needs to be allowed to grow up. Like, everyone makes mistakes when they're that age.
Andy, what do you think it'll be like having Danny in the opposite box for the first time in the semi-final?
I don't know. I mean, I've played against like when I finished working with Miles McLagan, he started working with Bagdatis, and I played against Bagdatis a few times. Like I played him at the Olympics, I played him in Tokyo with Miles there, and with Miles there, I didn't really have an issue with it. But again, I don't know. Maybe I'll find it weird on the day. But yeah, it's just something that you deal with as a player. And my goal isn't to beat Danny. My goal is to beat Berdych. So I don't think about that in the next few days.
Change your preparation though, having someone who knows your game extremely well in the opposite, in your opponent's side now.
I've always said to to people that, you know, watching is one thing, and seeing someone's game, but when you actually get on the court with them, things actually are a lot different. It might seem like you can attack certain areas of someone's game, or something that they do might look really good, but what matters is actually when you're on the court, can you exploit those things? Is, you know, that weakness, is it, you know, is it as weak as you think? It's completely different when you're out there on the court, in my opinion, and yeah, we'll see how the match plays out, and what the tactics are and stuff. But you know, I also know what Danny thinks of Berdych's game because he's told me, so it works both ways.
Andy, when Nick broke back in that third set there, did you sense the pendulum was starting to swing there? And if it was, how did you stop it? Did you call anything on that point?
No, well, I mean, I maybe played a slightly loose game there, but was the tougher end to play from, and he caught hold of a few returns which he hadn't returned so well up to that point. And then, yeah, just in that next game I came up with a couple of good passing shots, and yeah, just tried to keep the momentum on my side, and thankfully got the break straight away. But yeah, I mean, he did start to play a little bit better, start to hit the ball a little bit cleaner towards the end of the match.
And you talked earlier on in the tournament about the ability to defend at this level. In that game, I talked about after he broke, you had 2 or 3 amazing sort of rescue shots when he was trying to put the point away. Was it good that you were able to step your game up again to do that after you'd just been broken?
Yeah, I think yes. When I've been behind, like against Dimitrov in that 4th set, and obviously like situations like today when I got broken, or when I was behind the tiebreak, I've been happy with the way that I've been able to come up with some good shots when I've needed them, and sort of not get down on myself and come straight back. I've been pretty happy with that so far in the event, and obviously the further down the road you get and the better players you play, there's going to be more times when you might get behind, or you might get broken, or you know, they might play great tennis for a few games, and you know, you need to be able to weather the storm and hopefully come through it. But so far it's been a good sign.
Andy, Thomas gave Danny credit for coming up with a good plan against Rafa today. Is that one of Danny's strengths, do you think?
I don't know, to be honest. I think, you know, I don't really want to talk about what Danny's strengths and weaknesses are. I'm happy to talk about Berdych and what his strengths and weaknesses are, but I don't want to discuss what Danny does well and doesn't do well, because like I said, I'm not playing against him, and I don't think in loads of sports people talk about other players' coaches and managers and whatnot. Coaches talk about each other, but not for me to discuss.
Thomas's strengths and weaknesses then, if you're happy to talk about them, what would you say about them?
Well, he's a big guy he strikes the ball very well. He serves well, and yeah, he's fairly calm on the court. I think he manages emotions fairly well, and yeah, he's obviously played extremely well this tournament so far. Just by looking at the results, obviously he's had some good wins and played well in Doha, so he'll be going into the match with confidence.
Now that you're in the semis again, what's the main feeling? Satisfaction, happiness, a sense of keeping the momentum going?
No, I'm happy. It's nice to be in the latter stages of Slam again, and yeah, I'm happy with that. Obviously, we want to do as best as possible, but you know, all you can do is prepare as best you can, which I certainly did over the last few weeks and months, and have given myself an opportunity. Maybe I don't play well in a couple of days. Maybe I play great. Well, I don't know. But I've given myself a good opportunity again, and hopefully I can use it to my advantage.